U.S. President Donald Trump has announced a 50% tariff on a wide range of Canadian imports, saying the move responds to what he calls unequal treatment of U.S. cars, dairy, and alcohol. Now, the duties take effect in 30 days and mark a sharp escalation in trade tensions between the two countries. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney criticized the decision, saying it will raise costs for families, especially in the U.S., and that Canada is ready to engage to resolve the dispute. Now, Ryan Majuris is an international trade partner at King & Spalding. First, why has President Trump done this now?
Well, great to be with you. I think it's all about leverage at this stage. As we are talking, there's a third round of negotiations happening between the U.S. and Mexico City. The U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer is in attendance at those meetings. So I think talks are progressing, and this is really an effort to try to get Canada to the negotiating table. Because at the moment, despite this being a trilateral agreement, the U.S. and Mexico are pretty advanced in their talks, but the U.S. and Canada have not been talking.
Well, how realistic is a 50% tariff on some Canadian goods?
So the big difference with these tariffs, I mean, for starters, they're under a new authority called Section 338, which is a very old law. It's from the Smoot-Hawley era, so Depression era U.S. law. It's never been tested before. It's likely going to be subject to a court challenge. So that's going to be an issue. That's in part why there's a 30-day delay under the law. So there likely is not to be a lawsuit for a month. But more directly to your question, the impact of these are significant because there's not a substantial USMCA carve-out for goods, which there was for the previous IEEPA tariffs.
I'm wondering, why is it that in terms of the trilateral negotiations, why is it that Mexico and the United States are so much further along than Canada and the United States?
I mean, the negotiations with Canada have effectively been frozen due to the political stalemate between President Trump and Prime Minister Carney. The two sides have just not been willing to engage on the substance in terms of how to revise the agreement. Meanwhile, the U.S. and Mexico are pretty advanced, in discussions on auto rules of origin, how to deal with kind of China investment, the rapid response mechanism to deal with labor issues. The agreement was designed on the notion that things change and we need to update and evolve the agreement. The challenge we have now is it looks like the U.S. and Mexico are making progress on changes, but what does that mean for Canada in terms of the agreement as a whole? So I really think this is an effort to try to get them to the table.
Well, given that these negotiations are continuing with regards to USMCA, I'm sure we're going to be talking about this again sometime soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.